Hi. After last Saturday's message that I was called to deliver in regards to relationship that forming and will be manifesting in 2022. So after receiving that message, I've decided to make it a weekly reading about relationship. And just because, if you remember, last Saturday we found out that the relationship that will be coming up for us, or will be a renewed phase of existing relationship, will be groundbreaking in terms of us being able to share our vision and our values, our spiritual part. So basically, as comparing to what I was expecting as a good distraction and break from the work that we do, it will be actually getting an ally and being able to share, co-create, and the relationship itself becoming your creation, and something new that never existed will be coming to existence, and everybody will be affected. So once again, it became something else, and I will do that every week. So let's see what's the message for today. I decided to stick with the same Animal Oracle cards by Diana Cooper. Bat, see through illusion into truth. Llama, set clear boundaries and enforce them. And the third one, Owl, listen to the messages of the angels. So let me sit with that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's see what message we got. So the first came up is a bat. These are animals that have extrasensory, you can say, ability, or ability that's not that common. They remind us that they remind us that mammals can fly, literally, and mentally and spiritually. And you see the flock of bats flying. So they also symbolize and bring information of importance of sharing for those in need, and especially the young generation, by the whole community, instead of limiting it to family, parents, or one parent. So the community involvement in bringing up children, which might be indirectly affected, indirectly connected with being able to find those relationships that we're talking about. And what else? And the throat chakra connection, bat and throat chakra. So it's us gaining our voice, us being able to communicate. Well, throat chakra, so that means our traditional verbal communication, but with their sonic and GPS-like skills that points to that we need to obtain those skills that already built into us to be able to find those connections. So of course communication first, and how to handle your responsibilities, your family and community responsibilities before you enter those relationships. Llama, it's pretty similar to the bat, so it's also linked to caring about those in need around you. At the same time, setting up your boundaries. So as our heart opens, as we more ready to receive love and give love, and we need to practice before we enter into any critical relationship. We need to practice to set up our boundaries, and this is a card to remind us, if anybody's in our care, if any connection that we currently have, pay attention on setting up boundaries. Make sure you're not drained, your energy is balanced, not being afraid to speak about those boundaries. So it's a practice of loving. In existing relationship, and especially those who are in your care. And owl, so wisdom, insight, and a role of guide and instructor and teacher. So that's another thing that coming up before the relationship can enter your life, is that you need to claim your role of sharing the knowledge that you obtained, the knowledge that you practiced for a while. So you're ready now to get out of there, and with being connected with the community, gaining your voice, and taking care of your responsibilities, and with solid understanding of your own boundaries, you now are ready to enter into our guide, instructor, and sharer role. And that all these things will set you, and you will be prepared for, we can call them sacred relationship. For random meditation to accompany today's reading, I picked randomly Sarah Wilson book, First We Make the Beast Beautiful. It's an Australian author. So First We Make the Beast Beautiful, New Journey Through Anxiety. Very fresh, interesting way of dealing with anxiety. She described her journey through that, and a lot of references to Eastern tradition, meditation, and her journey through anxiety becomes her journey to basically enlightenment and finding your purpose and creative expression. So let's not wait. I do have a bad habit of wanting to apologize again, and it's supposed to be Saturday, a playful video about relationship, and I'm sure a lot of you anxious to get flirty, but we have to take care of a few things first. It looks like it. So let's see what will help us to follow these important steps. Years ago, at my cousin's wake, I stood eating asparagus sandwiches cut in squares on the veranda with the priest, and a mood came over me. It was a little waft. Everything went quiet. The curtain billowed. It was a particular mood. Alton had been in mental anguish. He committed suicide at 15. It was a very harsh and sad, but I felt a softness come over the room as the fullness of life was felt by everyone there. Funerals, I find, often have that beautiful effect on us. Well, it looks like today we're down a rabbit hole of heavy stuff and profound and a little bit of a goth. So that's a description of stillness, of feeling, of emotion, of presence, we all familiar with. And she used an example of a funeral of her cousin, and she generalizes that funerals often have that beautiful effect on us. It feels like before moving on to the next chapter, we are called to honor and remember, and allow the stillness of peace, harmony, and abundance of that it's enough, you're enough, and whichever you have is enough, and even the space that people, circumstances, and things that leave behind is beautiful, and there is nothing wrong with that. And it's not a vacant space. It's a feeling. I can describe it as a feeling of that space is not empty, and that's why it's beautiful, and that's why it's a relief, that's why it's a point of stillness, because even though it's a space, it's you can call it emptiness or void, but it's actually something that profoundly moves you, and doesn't have the quality that you thought or traditionally we learned to have. So it's very profound, and it linked to Eastern void charm. So I guess it's last piece of a puzzle. What else is needed before you can move on to those relationship enter, or before they manifest, with taking care of your social family responsibility and gaining a voice, practicing your boundaries, and practicing giving and receiving love, and gaining your wisdom and elevating yourself in in your creative pursuits, with taking position of now sharing and teaching others. The last piece of a puzzle is that no expectations, or even with knowing that these relationships will be groundbreaking, they will be taking your arts and crafts to a different level. It will be highly important for everybody around you. You need to be at peace and stillness, and that's where. So you don't need it. You don't want it. You don't desperately want it. You don't desire it. You find your peace and appreciate that empty space that will be soon filled, but that empty space is in itself brings you unique fulfillment that enhance your life experience. So anyway, I'm sorry guys for the serious Saturday message. It's all good, and enjoy yourself. Have a good weekend.